All right, Elon Musk. New stats have come out about what Elon Musk is doing with Twitter. This is important to understand for all Tesla shareholders because if Twitter does well, then Tesla's probably going to do a lot better. There's not going to be the Twitter overhang on the Tesla stock, hopefully. And if Twitter ends up becoming the thing that it can become, you never know if Elon Musk can take another platform public one day. Let's get into it. Here are some slides from his Twitter company talk. As we can see here, they are recruiting. That's the first thing. Second of all, new user signups at an all-time high. They are getting 2 million users a day. I mean, this is absolutely phenomenal. If you look in July 2014, the company was bringing in about 900,000 people a day. It started going down to 800,000. And then it peaked in 2022. Obviously, when Elon said he was buying the company, the media started covering it so much and we started getting so much information. And like obviously, people were checking out what is Twitter. And now it's at the point where 2 million people are joining a day. I mean, now the thing about Twitter is it's one of those platforms. People don't know this, but back in 2007, 2008, when it started, I think that when they had 80,000 accounts, like 90% of them were inactive. Like people had tweeted less than 10 things. People didn't really engage on the platform. It wasn't that vibrant because like, what was Twitter? What was the point of engaging? A lot of people that join Twitter don't tweet that much and they don't engage and they don't build an audience and like, because they don't know what to do. And Twitter is one of the hardest platforms to grow on, in my opinion, because you've got to keep saying things that make sense and that are relevant and that are important. So you've got to constantly have these thoughts that you can keep proliferating out into the world. That's really hard. So the fact that 2 million people join a day, that doesn't mean all of them are going to engage. I would say even 70, 80% of them are probably not going to tweet that much. But the ones that do join are going to start carrying more of the content moat that the company has. I think Twitter has some of the best content in the world. And that's going to lead to more of those 2 million people coming back every day, or at least every week, every month, and start getting used to engaging on Twitter. I used to never be on Twitter. I used to do it in high school, but then I quit for like 10 years. And then I came back in 2021 and I found all this valuable information and it really enhanced my life. I met so many great people. So I think Twitter is a phenomenal platform. The question is, can you get more and more people to join it and find the same experience that someone like I, who didn't used to use Twitter, ultimately had? User activity minutes also at an all-time high, 8 billion user active minutes per day. That's 5,555,000 hours spent per day actively on Twitter. I mean, that's a big, big deal for what Twitter is able to do. MDAU, this is monetizable daily active users, passes a 250 million mark. 253 million people a day use this product. Now, Facebook has about 1.98 billion. So it's a little bit far away, but nonetheless, I mean, 253 million people checking out this product every day. That's not an easy thing to do, to get 253 million people using a platform. So the idea that these people can find discovery and find engagement and find content from this platform, that's important. Now, also, we had midterms recently over the past couple of weeks, and we have the World Cup. That may be inflating the numbers a little bit. So we'll see in the next, January, February, where those MDAUs at, or if it can go even higher. But I mean, 253 million people using a product every day is not bad. And as you can see in this graph, like it happened. It was not as high as it was at 240 million just a couple of months ago. So 13 million people every day coming back to the platform more than from July 3rd. That's important. Hate speech impressions are also lower. It obviously had that spike when like they had that account blah, blah, blah thing going on where people made a bunch of fake accounts. That's gone lower. And then reported impersonation spiked, then fell, which is also good because given Twitter is not allowing the blue check to be celebrity status anymore, you have to pay for it. A lot of people are trying to impersonate. So they're trying to work around different ways to have different colors that designate different things so that people can't do impersonations as accurately as they did before. They impersonated Eli Lilly and they said, hey, our insulin is free. And the company's stock dropped $5 billion in a day. Like, that's actually insane that it happened. Twitter 2.0, the everything app. So this is Elon Musk's vision for what Twitter can be going forward. Advertising as entertainment. I think this is a big deal. If they can make ads actually feel entertaining the way TikToks are, you're going to get a lot more people advertising on the platform because a lot more people are going to engage with the ads. And if you're an advertiser, you need highly engaged ads. If people are not engaging with your ads, you don't care. Like, what's the point of spending money on Twitter if people aren't clicking on your ads? And to make the ads engaging and not boring, like, traditional commercials, there has to be work from the platform to facilitate the symbiotic relationship between an individual consumer and the advertisement itself. It's not just the creative being the variable, because you can have great creative, but if I have great creative that's meant for TikTok posted on LinkedIn as an ad, it's not going to work because that audience just doesn't care about that type of creative. They care about the creative that's meant for B2B professionals, right? In the context of LinkedIn. So it's very important to have advertising that's contextual to the platform. Then you got video. Obviously, Elon has said he's going to compete with YouTube. Let's see if it happens. If it does happen, pretty big deal, but we got to see if it does happen. Encrypted DMs. This is going to be important to actually make DMs better. The DM platform on Twitter is so useful and it's so bad in terms of like even searching through messages. It sucks. So that's got to get better. Long form tweets. I think this is basically articles. Like, I don't know why Twitter hasn't ever just released an article product where Like, why do I go to the New York Times? Why can't I just read it on Twitter, right? And like maybe Twitter gets ad rev share. I mean, there's so many ways to incorporate a long form discussion on the platform. So I think Twitter could do that. Relaunch Blue Verified. That's also something they have to do. And payments. Payments was the last thing that he mentioned. And I think payments is the biggest. If Twitter becomes the highway towards people sending money towards each other, you know, Facebook tried to do this, didn't work as much. They're now rolling this out with WhatsApp, with buying things. Cash App is a very successful product. PayPal, Venmo, it would also, you know, make Elon's life come back in circle because he started Venmo, and PayPal kind of ousted from the company. So now he's coming back, building the entire payments infrastructure that he started from the bottom. I think payments would be really important for Twitter, because if Twitter can get people to send people money, the amount of data that Twitter's going to have, the amount of potentially fees they'll be able to take on that. Merchants, just imagine merchants being able to sell their stuff on Twitter, or like meaningfully take money from people, or do customer service in the DMs. Like enhancing that DM product in conjunction with payments, I think is a big deal, because you would probably be sending payments through DMs. And that would turn Twitter into a pseudo everything app. If Twitter can have video, Twitter can have long form articles, Twitter can have encrypted DMs, Twitter can have an actual free speech environment, Twitter can have monetizable, engaging advertising content, and Twitter can have payments. There's a world in which Twitter starts to get really active. Elon Musk also said that in the next 12 to 18 months, he expects we can get to 1 billion monthly users. We know Elon and his predictions, and he likes to be very aggressive with them. He's been promising FSD for a while, but it's really hard to get these things, right? So you want someone to be ambitious, but you also have to keep your mind on the fact that it potentially might not happen given how aggressive the goal is. If they can do that, there is no reason they can't get 1 billion people to use this product. The hardest thing about Twitter, okay? The hardest thing about Twitter is getting people to actually tweet. I was reading a tweet from someone the other day who used to work at Twitter, and they were like, it's really hard to get people to tweet. Like, it's just difficult to get people to actually post content because it's like, what do you talk about, right? What do you say that's meaningful? Also, a tweet takes 2 seconds to write, which means the quality of this YouTube video hopefully should be better and worth your time versus if I just tweeted out, "Hi, what's up?" Right? Like if it takes longer to make, it's likely going to be more meaningful, you know, logically, than something that takes 2 seconds to make. That's why YouTube videos are more engaging than TikTok videos. There's a relationship you're building with them. So you have to be a good writer. And most people are not good writers, including myself. Being a good writer really sucks. So you have to learn how to write. Well, how do you learn how to write? You have to write a lot. It's very difficult to understand how to write in a way that creates emotion, just like speaking, right? I think I'm a relatively good speaker. I did competitive debate for 15 years and learned how to speak. And then, you know, my YouTube videos started making sense in terms of my communication skills, but I have that speaking background. And so if you don't have a speaking background or writing background to engage in a platform that's primarily rooted in speaking or writing, it's difficult. And Twitter, you have to write so much. You have to comment under people's posts so much just to get them visible. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. So the idea that Twitter is going to be able to actually make it easier for people to tweet and make it better to be discoverable, I think is the number one thing that they could potentially do, and have all these other features in play. I think that gives Twitter the potential to get to those 1 billion monthly active users. And then finally, I wouldn't bet against Elon Musk. At the end of the day, you know, as bad as the rollout has been, as many mistakes as he made, I'm not going to bet on Elon. I'm not going to bet against Elon Musk. I think he can get the job done, and it'll be pretty cool to see him actually succeed and turn Twitter into something that's a thriving platform. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Thoughts and comments below. What do you think is the future of Twitter and Elon Musk and Tesla as a result of Twitter potentially getting better? Thank you so much for listening and watching. I'll see you in the next one.